What does it mean if something happens for good? You'll learn in this episode, and as you'll hear, it doesn't have anything to do with good or bad. Hi, I'm Jeff, and this is Essential English Expressions, where you learn step by step how to use the expressions and phrasal verbs that will make your English come alive. In this episode, you'll learn how to use the expression for good. And if you pay close attention, you'll learn it for good. Some expressions are hard. They have lots of meanings and variations. This isn't one of them. So this episode will be pretty quick. Before we dive into the expression, I wanted to remind you that each episode of Essential English Expressions has a webpage with a transcript, translations of keywords, a quiz, and a full-speed version of this audio. There's also a practice area where you can use the expression in a sentence and get personal feedback from me. To get all that, just click the link in the show notes. Now, let's dive into today's episode. If something happens for good, guess what? It's not about good or bad. If you hear that something is happening for good, it means it's happening permanently, forever. This phrase doesn't actually have anything to do with the idea of good or bad. Instead, it's about how long something lasts. If you say something happens or is for good, that means it's permanent. It's not temporary. Let me ask you a question. If someone tells you, that restaurant is closed, what does that mean? Does that mean that it closed earlier in the day and the restaurant will reopen in the morning? Or does it mean that the restaurant is closed permanently, never to reopen? The restaurant is closed could mean either one of those. Most of the time, it's clear from the context. But if it's not clear, you can ask for clarification. You can ask, is it closed for good? That means, is it closed permanently? One of my favorite restaurants recently closed for good. It was called Selmary's in the Lincoln Square neighborhood of Chicago. When I first moved to Chicago in 2005, I lived near this restaurant, and I loved going there for breakfast. But JR, the producer of this podcast, he passed by the restaurant and gave me the bad news. Selmary's had closed for good. This means it's closed permanently. It's not coming back. The owners have retired. A new restaurant is going in that space. I haven't been to the new one, but I was so sad to learn that Selmary's had closed for good. Did you ever have an iPod? This was Apple's portable music player for the days before streaming. I had a few over the years. Did you know that Apple kept making iPods up until the year 2022? That blows my mind. The last time I used an iPod was probably in 2012. But finally, in 2022, Apple stopped making iPods for good. Apple stopped permanently. They're never going to start making them. They stopped making iPods for good. And so you can see that for good can also mean to stop doing something forever. A factory might close temporarily if there is a slow season, but a factory might also close for good. If it closes for good, there are no plans to reopen, and the workers will all have to find new jobs. It's hard to quit smoking. Sometimes it takes a few attempts. Here's a common story. A person might say, "I tried to quit smoking 3 times over the years, but when I had kids, I quit for good." That means he had kids. He stopped smoking permanently. No going back on it. If someone says he's stopped a bad habit for good, it means he's not starting it again. By far, the most common way to use for good is to talk about stopping something, as you've heard. But you can also use it to talk about something permanent that you will do or start doing. In this case, permanent doesn't mean for the rest of time or even for the rest of your life, but it does mean that you'll do something without the expectation of stopping it. Imagine that you start working at a temporary job in a different city. You get an Airbnb in that new city, intending to live there temporarily, a few months. But you really like that place, so you decide to move your home to that new city. You leave your old house or apartment and find a new, long-term place to live in the new city. If you do that, you can say, "I'm moving here for good starting in January." That means it's permanent. No more Airbnb, no expiration date, no expectation that you'll leave again soon. Now listen, that doesn't mean you'll live there for the rest of your life, but it does mean that it's not a temporary situation anymore. You're moving for good. But remember that job? That was temporary. Now, if you do a good job, they might offer you a full-time position without an expiration date. If that happens, they might say, "We'd like you to work here for good." That means no short-term contract, no end date, no temporary this or that. We want you here for good. That means we want you here permanently. You might foster a dog. That means you have offered to take care of a dog temporarily for a few days or weeks until the dog can find a permanent home. But you might find that you get along with that dog and you want to adopt him for good. You might say to the foster agency, "We'd like to adopt him for good." That means adopt him permanently so that he's your pet, not just a temporary guest in your house. Sometimes you'll hear someone say, "This time for good." That means the previous times have been temporary, or the previous times haven't worked, but this time it's permanent. Like quitting smoking, losing weight can be hard, but a person might say, "I've lost weight a few times only to gain it back, but I'm determined to get in shape this time for good." That means this time permanently. Tom Brady is a famous American football player and now television commentator. He retired in 2022. But just 40 days later, he announced he was coming out of retirement to join a new team and play another season. But that was his last year. In 2023, he said he was retiring for good this time. He was retiring permanently. For good is easy. It means permanently or not temporarily. Often we use it when we're talking about stopping or closing. A restaurant closes for good if it's never going to open again. A company can stop making its product for good if it will never make that thing again. It can be used to start doing something that you don't expect to stop. If you move somewhere for good, it's a permanent move. Not for the rest of your life, but there's no expiration date. And finally, you can say, this time for good, if you mean that previous attempts have failed, but this time you'll do something permanently. That brings us to the end of this episode. Sometimes you can say, learn something for good. That means you'll learn it and expect to know it for a long time. Sometimes we learn things and forget them soon after. That's what might happen if you review a lot of list posts or scroll through TikTok. You can learn a new expression there, but are you learning it for good? Will you remember it next week, next month, next year? Our goal here at Essential English Expressions is to help you learn these expressions for good. And to help you with that, we have quizzes and activities that go with every single episode. The easiest way to get them is to sign up for a free membership at plainenglish.com. You can also click the link in the show notes to get the transcript and find the page of this episode. Keep up the good work in English. Bye for now. Congratulations on learning another essential English expression. Now you're ready for the next step. Click the link in the show notes to read the transcript, listen to the fast version of the audio, take a quiz, practice what you learned, and even get human feedback on your work. Essential English Expressions is made by Plain English. Plain English is the modern, fun, and effective way to improve your listening, speaking, vocabulary, and writing. See how quickly you can improve. Sign up for free at plainenglish.com. Hey, you're still listening. That's good, because I have a small favor to ask of you. Would you take just a few seconds to leave a rating in your podcast player? Here's why I'm asking. Essential English Expressions is a new podcast, and I worked really hard on it. I personally spent over 150 hours creating this first season, and I made it totally free. I can only afford to make more episodes if this first season is a success. So that means I need ratings and reviews to spread the word. So if you think I deserve it, give the show a 5-star rating in the app you're listening on right now. If you're on Apple Podcasts, you can also leave a comment in your review. If you're on Spotify, you can rate the show and leave a comment right in this episode. You can do that in English or in your own language. It doesn't matter. Thanks so much in advance. I really appreciate the help.